Welcome to the Document Locator training session on saving directly to Document Locator from Word, Excel, Adobe, and Outlook. In order to do the task that we're going to do today, you do need to have the desktop version of Document Locator, the desktop license of Document Locator in order to save directly from that. Okay. Document Locator is fully integrated with Microsoft Office products, so you should see Document Locator up in the ribbon of your Microsoft Word. If you do not see Document Locator up here in the ribbon, then you do need to go into File and Options and your add-ins. Perhaps you've unenabled it or made it inactive at some point in time because it does get activated by default when we load it. So perhaps you just inadvertently inactivated it. So you do want to go into your add-ins and activate that if you're not able to see Document Locator up here in your ribbon. So you should see Document Locator up here in your ribbon of Microsoft Word. If you click on Document Locator, you have these choices here, and we're going to concentrate on the Save and the Save As. I'm going to leave it as a Word document, so I can do the Save or the Save As, but on this case, I'm just going to do the Save. And when the Save comes up, I do need to tell it where in Document Locator I want to save it to. You want to make sure that you are saving it in the Document Locator repository. You don't want to be saving it, you do not want to be saving it into your documents folder or into a temp folder on your PC. You actually want to make sure you're saving it into the repository itself of Document Locator. Our repository is called Doc Locator Solutions. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on that, double click on Documents. And this happens to be an agenda. My Word document here is an agenda. So I'm going to say it's part of my Board of Supervisors meeting. So I'm going to go ahead and double click on that. And that's as far as I have to drill down. Once I get the save option available to me, I can go ahead and click save. I'm going to save it at the highest level of folders. So I just had to go into the Board of Supervisors meeting folder, click save, and based on the folder that you select, the dialog box will be different. It will bring up the required properties of that particular folder. It's bringing in the auto naming and auto pathing of that particular folder, just as if you had scanned in those documents. So based on this, I do need to put in a meeting date and a meeting document type. So I'm going to go ahead and just use today's date. I could use the drop down arrow, of course, and select a different date on the calendar, but I'm going to go ahead and use today's date for all intents and purposes, or I could click on any other date on this calendar as well. You could also key in the date. So we'll just use Monday then for an example. And it is an agenda, so I'm going to go ahead and type in the agenda or select the agenda from the drop down. I could put in a description if I wanted to. I do not need any version notes. If I was going to do some more modification to this document upon importing it into Document Locator, I would want to hit this check mark here and say check out the document upon completion. Just a reminder, anytime you want to modify a document within Document Locator, you need to check it out first. And that means you want to add pages, remove pages, rearrange the pages, add text, delete text, any kind of modification to the document, you need to check it out first. But I'm actually done with my agenda, so I don't need to check it out. So I'm going to go ahead and say OK. And then it's going to import my agenda into the folder that I have specified. And if I go into Document Locator, I don't think I have it opened anymore. So we'll open up Document Locator and we'll go into my repository of Doc Locator Solutions, Documents, Board of Supervisors meetings, and I said it was an agenda, and it's in 2021, and I did say it was Monday, so I said it was the 19th, and there is my document right there. I can, of course, double click on it to open it. I can also turn on the preview button, which is over here towards the top right, and if I click on it once to highlight it, it'll show me a miniature of my document right here as well, and I can view my document that way. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. If you have a Excel spreadsheet, it works very similar. You should be seeing Document Locator appear in the ribbon. Again, if you're not seeing Document Locator in the ribbon, you'll want to click on File and go to your Options and go to your Add-ins. And it could be down in the inactive, so you'll want to activate it so that you see Document Locator appear in the ribbon. I already have it activated, of course, so mine is already up there and apparent. So I'm going to click on Document Locator, And again, I'm not going to change the type, so I'm just going to do a save. And I'm going to drill down in my repository. So I have my document locator solutions, documents. It does remember the last place you saved it to in document locator. In this case, I'm going to say it's a drainage claim. And then I have my save button. So I'm going to go ahead and say save. And again, the dialog box that pops up is relative to that folder that you've selected to save into. It knows the auto pathing, the auto name scheme, and again, the required properties for that particular folder. So I'm going to say this is drainage claim 789, and it's in fiscal year 2020, 2021. And again, I'm done modifying it, so I don't need to check out this document upon completion. I'm just going to go ahead and say OK. And it's going to import that spreadsheet into that folder that I specified. So if I go back into my document locator, I'm going to use my breadcrumb trail here to go backwards to documents. Come down here to drainage claims, 2021 and 789. There is my drainage claim that I put in. Okay. All right. If you save from Adobe, I'm going to go ahead and minimize this. If you save from an Adobe PDF, it's very similar. There is not a document locator up here in the ribbon. Instead, you have to go to File and Document Locator and Save to Repository. Now, if you're not seeing this document locator option, you may have to go into Edit when you have your PDF open, Edit and Preferences, and down to Security Enhanced, and you need to uncheck Enable Enhanced Security. Okay, and then say OK. And if you had to adjust that, had to check that or uncheck that, excuse me, if you had to uncheck that, you will need to close out of your PDF, reopen it, and then try it again for File and then Document Locator. If that does not resolve your issue, let us know, and we'd be happy to take a look for you. Again, it's fully integrated. Document Locator is fully integrated with Adobe, so you should see it as File and Document Locator. And I'm going to go ahead and say Save to Repository. And again, I have to tell it where I'm saving it to, okay? And in this case, I'm going to go back in my breadcrumb trail here, and I'm going to say it's a real estate document. I'm going to come down here and select Real Estate and Open. And again, I got my Save button right here, so I'm going to go ahead and hit Save. And again, depending on the folder you select, that will dictate what dialog box pops open. And I need to, in this case, I need to put in a parcel ID and a document type, a real estate document type. So I'll go ahead and put in a parcel ID. And then I can use the drop down to see what kind of document types I have. In this case, I'm going to say it's an other, a good old other. Okay. Again, I don't need to check it out upon completion. Okay. So I'm going to say it's an other, and I'm going to go ahead and say OK. And now I can go into Document Locator again, and I'm going to use my breadcrumb trail again to go backwards to Documents. I'm going to go down to Real Estate Documents, double click, and I said it was an other. And I said it was 963707103004 other. So here's my document right there in Document Locator already. And of course, there's a preview of my document. Okay. Now you can also save items directly from your Microsoft Outlook. Again, it's fully integrated with your email or Microsoft products. So if you have Microsoft Outlook, you can also save items directly from your Microsoft Outlook. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and close this down behind us here. In this case, I have a receipt that somebody sent me, such as myself. I missed a receipt on one of the claims I turned in to the office manager, so I need to get this receipt turned in to them. So I've emailed it to the office manager. They do not need to print it out just to scan it in. They can just save this attachment. So when you're in Outlook, you have the option of saving an attachment, or you can actually save the entire email. In this case, I only need to save the attachment. I only need to save a copy of this receipt here, which is for dog food. I wouldn't suggest you save that necessarily at your county level, but this is what we're going to save today as a dog food receipt. So in this case, we're going to come up in our ribbon again. We have Document Locator. Again, if you cannot see it in the ribbon in your Outlook, you'll want to go into File, in Options, down here to your add-ins, and of course it might be in your inactive add-ins. You'd want to hit go, activate it, and then it should show up in your ribbon. So it's in my ribbon. So I have my email open. I'm going to go ahead and save. No, I don't want to save the whole email, so I'm going to cancel that. I only want to save the attachment here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel because I don't want to save the whole email. I only want to save the attachment. And again, I have to tell it where I want it to save to. And there is a drill down box here. And it does remember where you've last saved an attachment to. And in this case, I last saved it to Document Locator, Documents, Claims Processing, which is exactly where I want this one to go. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Save. And you'll notice it has that path there, Claims Processing. It remembers the last claim number I put in. I'm going to go ahead and save it to 47634 for 2021. Those are the only two required fields out of all of these claim fields here, claim properties here. So I'm going to go ahead and say Becky missed receipt. Again, it's optional. You don't have to put a description there, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and say OK. It's going to import my receipt. And if we go into Document Locator, again, using my breadcrumb trail, go down to Documents, Claims Processing, 2021. I have a lot of claims here, so I could scroll through to find it, or I could put in a claim number 47634, I think it was. And there is my claim picture, and it's the same as this claim right here, the original claim to Baumgars. There's a claim to Baumgars or Gordon Flesh Company, and then here's my receipt that's going to go with it. Now, of course, we just have test data, so they may not actually go together, but that's how easy it is to save a receipt. Now, what happens if you want to save the entire email? Let's say in this case, I have some emails going back and forth with an attorney, and I want to save the entire email train, especially if there is a whole thread of emails going on. So in this case, I want to do Document Locator, and I want to do Save with my email highlighted there. Again, I need to say where it's going to go. So in this case, I'm going to say that it is real estate. Real estate documents. And again, depending on what folder you've picked, that'll dictate what dialog box you have. I'm going to pick a partial number here. And then I have to do a real estate document type. And I'm going to say it's change form supporting docs. And I'm going to put, this is questionable legal advice. Okay. I'm going to say okay. And then again, if I go into Document Locator, close this one down. I think I might have closed my Document Locator. I did. There we go. So I'm going to go back to Document Locator Solutions, Documents, Real Estate, and I said it was Change Form Supporting Documents. And the nice thing about this is that it actually keeps it as an email. So here it is, here's the text of the email, but it's actually, you'll notice that it keeps it as a .msg. So if I actually open that back up, it actually opens it as an email. So if you have a whole thread of conversation in that email, the nice thing is that it opens it back up as an Outlook message, so you can forward, you can reply, you can do that type of thing with it. So that's one of the great features about storing the entire email message. So, okay. So that is how you would save Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Adobe PDF, and Microsoft Outlook documents directly to Document Locator. Thank you for your time.